That's a Democrat. That Democrat engaged in implicit racism. That Democrat, her name is Barbara Goldberg-Goldman, a Maryland Democratic Party deputy treasurer. She has been forced to resign after sending an email to party officials, a public email to party officials, questioning if black candidates can actually win in their state. Now, it's so interesting because anytime a black person loses a statewide race, all of a sudden, well, maybe people just don't want to elect a black person. Blackness becomes the reason. But white people can lose. As a matter of fact, white people have lost more elections than black people. But their whiteness is never part of the reason why they lost. Their DNA, their skin color is never contextualized in the scenario during the post-analysis of what happened during the campaign. But when a black person loses a political election, all of a sudden the conversation goes to race. I'm gonna prove it to you. The email was sent to party members by now former Democratic Party Deputy Treasurer Barbara Goldberg-Goldman. It was obtained by Axios. In the email, Goldman said, and I quote, "So my thinking beyond here is the age-old question, which candidates have a better chance in the general election of beating an attractive female Hogan team member for whom both Dems and Repubs have expressed genuine likability?" Goldman wrote, "Consider this, 3 African-American males have run statewide for governor and have lost. Maryland is not a blue state, it's a purple one. This is a fact we must not ignore. In the last 20 years, only 8 have been with the Democratic governor. We need a winning team." You see, madam, you're supposed to represent change, transformation. You're supposed to represent transformative politics and not transactional. You're supposed to be on the right side of the conversation. You're talking just like Republicans. You're talking just like conservatives. You're talking just like racist people. Consider that. Here's a little tidbit on how the voter demographics actually break down in Maryland. According to the Baltimore Sun, registered Democrats outnumber Republicans 2-1 in Maryland. Maryland's black population is damn near 30%. That's the highest percentage outside of the Deep South. Maryland's past 2 Democratic nominees for governor have been black, meaning they beat all the white people in the primary. And yet the state can't seem to elect a black governor, and because the last 3 black candidates lost, it's automatically assumed that their blackness has something to do with it. Goldman may have been the one who said it, but anyone would be naive to think she was the only one thinking it, or that this conversation has not happened countless times in discussions on political strategy in other states, in particular with Democrats as well. Imagine how many times the same discussion was brought up in consideration of Obama's presidential candidacy. One of our dear friends of the program, Ben Jealous. Remember Ben Jealous? Good friend of mine too. Black gubernatorial candidate Ben Jealous had words for the Democratic Party and his betrayal of black supporters. "White men lose races all the time," Ben said, "but no one ever ascribes that loss to their DNA. Black women and black men are entreated to support the Democrats every single cycle. We are told that Democrats are the party that stands for us. And then when we stand up to lead, we're told that our race is an obstacle to us winning." This kind of backwards thinking has no place in the future of the Democratic Party in Maryland, nor is it acceptable coming from a party official. John B. King Jr., a former US Education Secretary, said in a statement calling for Goldman's resignation. As someone whose family went from being enslaved in a cabin in Gaithersburg to serving in the cabinet of the first black president in just 3 generations, my family story is a testimony to the progress that black Americans can achieve. Deputy Treasurer Goldman must resign from her position with the state party. All right, cool. Now watch this typical half-ass apology she decided to pen. Goldman said, "I am well aware that words matter despite how they might be interpreted, and I sincerely apologize. I would never want to distract from the hard work and mission my colleagues and friends fighting for the principles upon which the Democratic Party now stand for. No, you don't stand for them, madam. So she didn't even apologize to the present and future black candidates she just dismissed, or to black people in general. She apologized for being a distraction to politics as usual. Offended party be damned. Jordan, thoughts here?
So I want to talk about the past two races that they mention, and they say, oh, look, these black candidates lost. Here's why. In 2014, when Anthony Brown was running for governor, do you want to know why he lost? I saw some people asking in the chat. Because they ran out of money before the general election. Right. How is that his skin color's fault? That is mismanagement. And then Ben Jealous, when he challenged Hogan, as Hogan was running as the incumbent, when he got the nomination, because he was more progressive than the rest of the candidates in the primary, Democratic officials in the state of Maryland either would not support him or championed Larry Hogan and supported the Republican. So again, when that's what you're working with in your own party, you are doomed to fail.
That's right.
It has nothing to do with their skin color. It is mismanagement and ineptitude in the Maryland Democratic Party. So this is totally bogus. And like you said, they would never ask that. Like when Amy McGrath in Kentucky blew $80 million in a doomed attempt to try to unseat Mitch McConnell, did anyone say, oh, it's because she's white? Of course not.
Right.
That's not why. You have a 2-to-1 majority in Maryland. And if you have Democratic officials cheering on the Republican, that's why these people are losing.
Yeah, we expect better out of our supposed allies.